Hiya, how you doing? It's Lee here from the Free Hammers. Hope you're well. Enjoying the summer break and the European Championships at the moment. Just sort of tell you there, Romania are beating Switzerland at the moment. Don't really have much impact on anything. To be honest, France are going to win that group. Anyway, why am I here? Tomorrow, massive game. England versus Wales. We made it clear in our podcasts that actually we're not massive England fans. Because of the way the squad's picked and the players that are in the squad, ones that are in their name over form, and then the ones that quite clearly haven't been good enough and shouldn't be in the squad. And we saw in England's opening match exactly what happens when you pick players' name over form. I thought Sterling was dreadful, lots of pace, but the end product was just so poor. Harry Kane, don't get me wrong, deserves to be in the squad, but had a terrible game. Just wasn't in it. We looked, they should have been out of sight at half time, despite those poor performances, because it was a very poor Russian side, who today have lost 2-1 to Slovakia. It says all we need to know. But looking beyond that, Wales had a great result, winning 2-1 over Slovakia. Again, I don't think they played brilliantly. I think Gareth Bale's free kick, if that was Joe Hart, then it would have been saved, frankly. And then they got a bit of a lucky bobble on the second goal, Robson Carden. And actually, that game could have gone either way. Anyway, the reason I'm here is just to do a very quick, to continue the theme of doing mixed 11s. I think it was Gareth Bale said in the week that not one of the England players would get into the Wales side. I disagree. I don't think that's true. I think that was just a bit of mind games from him. So here's my attempt. This is my 1-2-11. England and Wales mix of the players that are in the squads. Otherwise, I would have had Antonio in there, would have had Noble in there, would have had Aaron Cresswell in there. And in fact, it says everything you need to know that it's a Welsh left back, because it should be Cresswell. It's disgusting that it isn't. Anyway, goalkeepers. Obviously, there's 6 keepers to choose from. I'm not going to go through them all. The 2 obvious ones. Wayne Hennessy, who didn't play actually for Wales. He was injured. Danny Ward played. Thought he did all right. Didn't have too much to do. Didn't have no hope with a goal. But Wayne Hennessy's their usual number 1. If he's fit, I think will play against England. But the person I've gone for is Joe Hart. Completely established as a number 1. Not much competition, I don't think, until Jack Butland regains fitness. And I think he looks like a really good prospect. Actually, Hart, you can hear him in the tunnel before the match. He's trying to G out the players. Don't seem to get that from anyone else in the England squad. A lot of people talk about how much more passion Wales have, but that's something you can't say against Joe Hart, who does seem very passionate. So he's certainly my number 1. He'll go in goal. Going across the back 4, at right back, somebody's grown on me actually. There's a few Tottenham players in this squad. One of them's Carl Walker. At first I thought Nathaniel Clyne actually should have been in there, but actually Walker gets up and down so much. It's great fitness levels, great pace, puts in a decent cross, can make a decent free kick as well. So he's in at right back. You look at Wales actually play 3 at the back, so the most obvious person who could have gone in that position is probably Chris Gunter, who actually plays centre half for Wales, oddly. My right back, making it 2 England players actually, is Carl Walker. Now, oddly, my first centre half is Welsh, and he's also my captain, and it's all going to become clear. It's pretty obvious. I put James Collins in. He can't get a start for Wales. I don't know why. I know him and Coleman had a fallout previously, but if he's in the squad, I think he's their second best centre half. And it's odd that he's not playing. Didn't play. That being said, they only conceded 1 goal against Slovakia. He's obviously got a tried and tested system with the 3 at the back. Maybe Ginge isn't suited to play in that formation. We don't do it that often at West Ham, the odd occasion. But in my mind, I think he's up there, and his centre-back partner is the only one, I think, in the Welsh squad that's better than him, is Ashley Williams, who I think's an outstanding centre-half, could easily play for a top 4 side. Would love him at West Ham, maybe alongside Ginge. He's a good set. He's sort of full-blooded. He was the one who Alex Ferguson once accused of trying to kill Robin van Persie, which is ridiculous, obviously, to kick the ball towards him. So Collins and Ashley Williams are my centre-halves. Not much pace, but pure 100%, is that word again, passion. flying him to tackles, good pace on the right with Cole Walker. And my left back, again, a few good choices. So the two England ones, Danny Rose and Ryan Bertrand, neither should be in, or I think Rose just maybe be in, I don't know if he should be in the squad. But he is, they're the two. It should be Cresswell, it's not. But the person I've gone for is Ben Davis, who, like Williams, was at Swansea. Williams still is. Decent player, gets up and down again. Not always guaranteed a start at Tottenham because Danny Rose, good competition there, but I actually really like Ben Davis. I think he, again, another that perhaps if he doesn't get regular football at Tottenham, could end up leaving and will walk into most top 5, 6 sides in the Premier League. So that's the back four. 3 Welsh players. I mean, certainly for England, defensively, that's where we're most weak. Smalling, Cahill, John Stones, none of them make my 1 to 11. And so the back four, Walker, Collins, Ashley Williams and Ben Davis. Onto the midfield, which actually was the most difficult. Started on the right hand side, a player I'm a big fan of, James Milner. He come on in the last match, didn't cover himself in glory with the goal, sort of charged out towards the ball and perhaps should have gone a bit slower. I put him on the right hand side. I just think with thinking about this tactically, ridiculously, but with Cahill, with Walker running down the right hand side, it's good to have a player like Milner who can protect. Going across the two centre midfielders, another Tottenham pair actually. I'm going to need some medication, all these Tottenham players in here, but anyway, Ali and Dyer. Dele Alli, bit of a hothead, but on his day, he's such a fantastic footballer. He scores goals, he makes goals. Really fantastic prospect, and that's all he is at the moment. Is a prospect. He's a young lad, and I think he's going to go on and have a great career. The person next to him, I think, will be the next England captain, Eric Dyer. I don't know where that free kick came from against Russia. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. He's the player you need in your squad. He sits in front of that back four. He hardly moves from that position. Doesn't burst forward. In the Russia game, he allowed Ali and Rooney to push on just by sitting there. He looks like a good leader. Another one who's prone to the odd tackle. Another sort of hothead. I mean, in that last game against when he played against Chelsea in that very violent game, he could easily have been sent off twice in that match. It was some really hefty tackles flying in. But so he's alongside Ali in there, and then on the left hand side, there's only one choice really, which is Gareth Bale. There's not much you can say about Bale. Fantastic footballer, one of the top 5 players in the world. Signed for £85 million. He will be the best player on the pitch on paper when England and Wales go ahead today, depending when you're watching this. There's just not much he can't do. Started out as a left back, so he's decently defensive, but actually when he plays for Wales, they just shove him up front and said, forget about it. A bit like I was with Payet, who can't defend to save his life, so we just say, you stay out there, don't worry about defending. That's what they do with Wales. With Bale, sorry. Just get out of the pitch and do the damage. But in my team, I put him on the left-hand side to sort of provide good pace on the right-hand side. That's so I could get the 2 strikers in. I said Harry Kane didn't have a good game against Russia, but he did enough to be in the squad, in the team. He'll get another go. The guy scores goals. Again, I hate to say it, but he is a goal scorer. He's not that one-season wonder that I was convinced he was going to be. Anyway, you look at it, he has to go into this team, and the player next to him who should have come on against Russia and didn't is Jamie Vardy. Lots of pace, such a great target to have in the side to sort of hit balls over the top, run onto if Kane can get some flicks. He obviously scored a lot of goals, won the league with Leicester. It's a great option. I think the two of them haven't really been given a chance to play up front as a pair, and if they did, I think they could cause most defences in Europe a lot of problems. And maybe if Roy could play those two together as strikers, he tends to play Vardy on the wing when they do play, then I think England would stand a much better chance of progressing. As it goes, my prediction for the match, I think Wales will win. I think Wales will win 2-1, which will probably see them through, actually, or as good as see them through. They'll probably need a point. And I think England will head out in the group stages, as I said. I don't think they're strong enough. You watch their games, and the Euros have been fantastic. Lots of attacking. Most teams have really had a go. And England had a go, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't exciting. I wasn't sitting there at the edge of my seat like I was in a lot of the other matches. Even Iceland, watching them, when they broke on the counter-attack, it looked exciting. I just don't get that with England. And I think a lot of that is to do with the manager. So a quick recap. Joe Hart in goal. Back four, Walker, Collins, Williams, Davis. Milner, Ali, Dyer, Bale in midfield. Vardy and Kane are up front. James Collins obviously the captain. Harry Kane's definitely not taking corners. That's one of the weirdest things. If that's from the manager again, then that's odd. I really don't understand that, because they're not even good. And he should be in the middle, wanting to nod at any decent striker, which he is, wants to be in the middle trying to score goals. It's a really strange thing that he takes the corners. He won't be doing that in my side. So that's mine. Let me know in the comments below on Twitter. Who would or wouldn't. Aaron Ramsey was a tough one. I was torn between Ramsey and Ali, actually, and I just went for Ali for no particular reason. I mean, Ramsey is a great player, and has good odds to score most games from midfield. So let me know in the comments below what you think of that team. What would you do differently? Let me know what you think the score's going to be. Other than that, filming the podcast in about half an hour's time, so that will be out shortly after this video. Make sure you enjoy it. Check back the one last week with Dave Sullivan Jr. It was absolutely fantastic. Had loads of views on that. Let us know what you think about that video. Watch the new podcast. We've signed a player this week, West Ham. Hope you missed that for Gooley. Paul put a video about that. We'll be doing other ones throughout the Euros. So I hope you continue to enjoy the European... the fixtures came out, of course, today as well. So check those out. Bournemouth will open the Olympic Stadium. We'll cover that in the podcast as well. I'm sure there'll be a link down here. Make sure you hit subscribe, wherever that is, somewhere around here probably, along the bottom. Hit subscribe so you can keep getting our videos. So we hope to see more of you. Let us know what you think. Keep believing that... I don't know, that the Euros continues to be absolutely fantastic, because it has been, and we can get the tour deal over the line if indeed those rumours are true. For now though, I will see you real soon. Catch you later.